Hello, so I wanted to do a video today on sharing an amount in a ratio. This is a grade 3/4 topic at GCSE, and I have 4 levels of difficulty, and each of those correspond to these 4 questions on the screen here. But I'll come back to that and I'll go through that again at the end of the video. So before we get started with this, as always, there's a couple of things that you need to be comfortable with before you can access all of these questions. Not a lot, but the first thing you need to be able to do is to simplify ratios. This topic normally follows on from any work on simplifying ratios, and then if you want to access the 4th type of question that I'm going to go through, it will be useful if you can find fractions of amounts. So if you can't do those, I suggest going away and having a look at those first. Okay, so the first type of question you could be asked to do is you're given an amount and asked to share it between 2 or more parts of a ratio. In this case, Andy and Bella share £104 in the ratio 3:5, and we're being asked to find out how much each person got. So the first thing to realise here is just because 2 people split some money, it does not mean they get exactly half each, and that's what ratio is all about. So the first thing you need to realise is that the 2 names and the 2 numbers in the ratio are in the same order. So this means that Andy would get 3 parts and Bella would get 5 parts. When doing these sorts of questions, the first thing I always suggest doing is writing out A for Andy and B for Bella. And I'm going to put the ratio, the colon in between it as well. And then underneath, line everything up. The ratio we're given in the question is 3:5. Now, what we're going to do is underneath the 3, I'm going to draw 3 boxes. And underneath the 5, I'm going to draw 5 boxes. Now, the key thing to remember here, across all of the examples that I'm going to go through, is every box is worth the same amount. It might not always be money like it is in this case, but they will always be worth the same amount. So this £104, what we are now going to do is we're going to split that equally between all the boxes. So in this case, 104, and I'm going to divide that by 8 because there are 8 boxes in total. So 104 divided by 8 gives me £13. That tells me that each box is worth £13. So we can write that into each box. Then the question is going to ask you a number of things. This one asks us to find out how much each person got, but it won't always say that. It might say find out how much Andy got or how much Bella got. To find out the total, all we're going to do is add up these boxes. So 3 lots of 13 gives me £39. Again, I'm lining everything up. And then 5 lots of 13 is going to give me £65. So in this case, Andy got £39 and Bella got £65, and that's it. Okay, you need to watch out for these second types of question, because what a lot of people do here is they just see the 210 and the 5 to 2 and they think automatically, right, I just need to split the 210 between all 7 boxes. I'm going to show you why that's not quite right in this example. So same again, Alex and Brian, A and B, and they split some money in the ratio 5 to 2. So under here, I'm going to draw out 5 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and under here, I'm going to draw out 2 boxes. Again, remember, every single box is worth the same. Now, the important bit here is that it just says that Alex received £210. In the last question, that £104 was what they both got split between them. This one here is just giving us the amount that Alex received. So that £210 does not represent all 7 boxes. It represents those 5 boxes. You need to be very careful with the wording of these questions. So we're actually doing 210 divided by 5, and if I did that, that tells me that every single box is worth £42. So I can fill those in. And then you can just add them all up. So we already know that's £210. This one here is going to be £84. So now we can go back and answer the question, how much did Brian get? Well, Brian just got this £84. And that's all there is to that one. You just need to be very careful and watch out for the wording of the question. Okay, 2 more examples. Again, Andy and Becky, and they split some money in the ratio 5:7. These questions are always going to start the same way. Over here I'm going to draw 5 boxes, and over here I'm going to draw 7 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now the key thing with this is to work out the amount you're given, this £72, how many boxes does that represent. So if Andy got £72 less than Becky, Andy also got 2 boxes less than Becky, or Becky got 2 more than Andy. So that tells us that 2 boxes are going to be worth £72. So it's always a good idea to try and find out how much one box is going to be worth to start with. So because we've divided this bit by 2, we're going to divide this bit by 2 as well. And that tells me that every single box, I'm just going to write 36 rather than the pound sign, every single box is worth £36. So I can fill those in. Okay, now this question is asking us to work out how much did Becky get. Well, Becky got 7 boxes, and each of those boxes were £36. So all I'm going to do, 7 times 36, which comes out as £252. So that's my answer, £252. It's always a good idea just to double check Andy's amount. So 5 lots of 36 is going to be 180, and then you can see that 180 is £72 less than what Becky got. So we're correct there. So that bit is your final answer, but it's always worth just double checking. Okay, last example. These ones are a little bit more wordy, and you'll remember I said it's a good idea to start bringing in to be able to find fractions of amounts to be able to access these questions. So all students in a school study either Italian or German, and the ratio of boys to girls in the school is 1:5. 6/7 of the boys study Italian, and there are 630 students in the school. And we've been asked to find out how many of the boys study Italian. So the first thing you need to do here is you need to be able to find out 6/7 of the boys. We need to know the number of boys. We are told in the question that there are 630 students in the school, and the ratio of boys to girls is 1:5. So we'll worry about the languages part in a second. We're just going to start by figuring out boys to girls. Notice I've done it in the same order as in the question, B and G, and that's 1:5. So 1 box over here, and 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes over there. Okay, so there are 630 students in the whole school. So that tells me all 6 of these boxes, which are worth the same amount, have to add up to 630. So there are 630 students, and I'm dividing that by 6 boxes. So if I did 630 divided by 6, that tells me that every 1 box is worth 105 pupils. So I can write 105 in each of these boxes, and then it's a good idea just to total them up. It's good practice to do that. 105 times 5 gives you 525. So in the school there are 105 boys and there are 525 girls. Okay, now what I want to do is, of the boys, 6/7 of those boys study Italian. So I'm basically trying to find 6/7 of 105 boys. Okay, now remember, with fractions of amount, to find 1/7 of 105, we're splitting 105 into 7 equal parts, and that will tell us what 1/7 is. So 1/7 of 105, we're going to get that by doing 105 divided by 7, and 105 divided by 7 gives me 15. So 1/7 is 15 boys. And then finally, because I wanted to find 6/7, we're just doing this number, and I'm going to multiply that by 6. So 6 lots of 15 gives me 90. So that tells me that 90 boys study Italian. And that's it. So you need to watch out for those wordy ones and just try and break the problem down and think, what do I need to find out first, and then how can I use that to solve the to get to my final answer. Okay, so the question generator that I've made to go with this one, again, as always, I'll stick a link to this so you can download it, and that link will be in the YouTube description. When you open the file, there'll be a little yellow ribbon that appears at the top that says enable content or enable macros. If you do not click on that, the buttons that generate the questions will not work. So you can set it to give you questions of increasing difficulty or focus on a particular type of question. And then once you can get the answers one at a time, or you can get them all at once. And once you've got the hang of that, you can do a mixture of all 4 types of question, and that shows a good understanding of the topic if you can do that and get those right. I've only stuck to 2-part ratios, but for questions 1 to 3, you can also get questions where you have 3-part ratios. It's the same thing, there's just more parts to it. Okay, that's it. I hope it's useful. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.